start of it in old New York.
So I want to point out, for those that don't know, Colin and I became buddies with my brother Fred. And though we haven't spent like too much time together, whenever we have spent time together, it's either been like skydiving, going camping along the trail, the AT, or going to Peru and drinking some tea and finding out our inner demons and everything. So it's nice. You learn a lot about people when you go through like intense experiences like that in a short, I guess, an abbreviated period of time. And you can learn more about people in those experiences than knowing somebody for like years or whatever at certain times. So what brought you to Costa Rica? I know Colin used to go like surfing there occasionally and stuff. Because you're both originally from Ohio, is that right?
Yeah, we're from Ohio. Yep, same town. Grew up together.
Like high school, right? You were the cheerleader?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I was a cheerleader. He was a football player, kind of that typical stuff. But we didn't date till college. We were just friends back in high school. So so we started vacationing here in 2008. Colin Googled like best places to learn how to surf, and our like Nosara, Costa Rica popped up. So we were like, sure, let's go. So we went. And then like we just kind of every other year we would end up going back there. We kind of always wanted to explore other parts of Costa Rica, but we just kept getting drawn back to this one little town. It's very like surfer, hippie, holistic vibe to it. And so when we decided to, leave Ohio, it was really the only town we considered. And then we got our son.
Nosara.
Nosara, yeah.
What's the big like airport hub city?
Liberia is the closest.
Liberia.
Liberia's about 2.5 hours away.
Okay. And so you started going there
every year, a couple weeks a year.
Okay.
Yeah, starting in 2008.
Yeah, 2008, and then
officially moved in 2018.
I was going to ask that. Okay, so you've been down there for just about 2 years now, or give or take a few months.
Yeah.
Alexis, what's your? Because Colin told me you were going to be looking to do some like wellness stuff. So like, what's your background a little bit, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So my background, we lived in New York for about 8 years, and then Ohio for about 6 years. And I did product development, like on the retail side, like for accessory companies and clothing companies. And then once I had my son, there really wasn't much flexibility, with that. So I quit that kind of corporate life, became a stay-at-home mom for the past 4 years. And then, moving here and being in this really like healthy, holistic environment kind of gave me the idea about like health and wellness. And, people always just kind of end up telling me their life stories. And I never really knew like what to do with that. And so then I kind of discovered the path of coaching. And it's been really fun. So yeah, I coach, one-on-one sessions with women. Now, I can do it virtually, just, remote from anywhere. So it's been pretty rewarding. I really like it.
You do it virtually, and then do you have clients in Costa Rica as well?
Yeah. I've got, Costa Rica, Ohio, Los Angeles. Yeah, kind of all over.
Oh, okay. That's really just like health, like diet stuff, or just like mental coaching.
Yeah, well, I kind of look at like, the entire picture of a person, so we look at, relationship, environment, can be exercise, diet, spirituality. If someone comes to me and wants to, let's say like lose 50 pounds, for me, that isn't so much about the food. I try to get to like the why, like what has caused you in your life to even gain that weight to start with. It's not just about the food. There's something else that's lacking. Maybe, you're lacking in your relationships, maybe in your career, and then your comfort is the food. So I really try to get to like the client's why to figure out like why they're, seeking me out.
That makes sense.
Then,
instead of treating this like just like the symptom, you get to the core.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
And Kyle, let's talk a little bit about your background, how you just I know you were doing like finance stuff. I mean, I don't know what any of it means, but
Okay, so yeah, I was doing finance with your brother in New York.
Yes.
For
Shout out to Fred.
shout out to Freddie the
No.
Bear. The microphone's over here, so yeah, so probably 8 years in New York,
Mhm.
doing finance stuff, sitting in an office all day.
Nice. Who wouldn't want to do that? Who
Yeah,
would want to
Well,
sit in who wouldn't want to sit in an office when
we
you
used to leave at lunch and throw the football. Me and your brother.
well, he's coming from a athletic background, playing, football all through, life and college. So just a sedentary lifestyle was tough on him.
yeah,
You know, but
you played at Hawaii, right? That's right.
yeah, yeah, for a year, yeah, and then bounced around some schools and yeah, so that adjustment to the work life was not the easiest thing. It didn't really bother me at first. It's crazy how much you're able to abuse your body in the name of work when you're younger. I was pounding Monster Energy drinks, smoking cigarettes, and dipping at the desk, and um, just kind of like those extra stimulants to get me through the day. Um, but eventually I kind of like started taking its toll on me, right? And yeah, so we moved to Ohio and I did some more of that, but I started getting kind of physical symptoms from it all, right? They're manifesting as panic attacks and just weird stuff going on with my body and the way I was treating myself. And even when I stopped and got really, really disciplined with my diet and my exercise, didn't really help, and I couldn't sleep. I did have a kid around this time too. But anyway, I think my body was just kind of telling me
He needed a new
to
environment.
do something else, move. So we did, I worked out something where, I got an exit package to leave the country, and, it was going to be a sabbatical for a year. But we ended up knowing pretty early that, it's going to be more than a year, something we wanted to do.
It just felt comfortable, right? Or
Yeah. Felt like some pieces that I was missing were now available to us in our new environment. So, and then, with everything going on now back in the States, kind of making our decision for us, to stay down here. So we're,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we're kind of like, we're by any means necessary now, we're going to stay.
yeah.
that's great. There's people that fantasize about doing exactly what you just did, so to actually do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have anyone that has done anything like this to, be a guide. So we're like trying to be that guide to others,
Yeah,
like
you see it. So you're there now. So keep figuring out what the best way to do it is, and then eventually, hopefully, me and my girl get down there or something.
Yeah, and then part of like my offering with my wellness program is I'm starting to do a relocation consultation, like kind of
That's a good idea.
where if anyone, because I keep hearing so many people talking about what's going on in the US, they want to leave, and so I'm offering that service now. We've been through it, we kind of know the different things you need to do to like actually transition your life to another country, so I'm going to offer that to potential clients as well.
Yeah, that's that's because people often, it's like a fearful thing of how they don't know what to expect, what to do. So
Yeah, they don't even know where to start. So, it could be anything from like helping arrange school tours to realtor introductions. So,
Mhm.
when I had a desk job recently, a few months ago, and yeah, I don't know and I never had any like mental health things or like anxiety or like depression, but one day I was just sitting at my desk and heart started pounding,
Mm.
and I didn't know what was going on. I was like, wow, this coffee must have been strong. So I just started walking around in circles, and then it didn't stop, and like it was hard to see, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Then finally I saw one of my coworkers, and he was like, he had EMS background. He's like, I think I had an anxiety attack. I was like, what? And it like first the anxiety. I had like high anxiety for like months until I finally, you know, we mentioned Fred earlier. Fred flew down here, and it was just like real. It got real, especially when your family comes and visits you. So I know what that, and I knew I wasn't happy just like sitting there and like whatever, and I needed a change and shit. So I mean, right now I don't have the benefits or quite the salary as I was having at the desk job, but way more happier. So
Yeah.
I mean, so when you said that and you were and how those things could persist and you don't realize it, then it hits you like it's like a slap in the face. It's like you're not you. You gotta. I mean, I think that's people need to realize. People, I mean, myself included. I mean, there's no a roadmap written out about how to like live your best, live your truth, or whatever, however you want to say it. But it sounds like you guys just certain Colin specifically, you were experiencing like those type of things, and you were able to navigate your way to find your what feels right, you know. And I wanted to ask you, so while you were working in New Jersey, Jersey City, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys, the other talking to with my brother, and then eventually we all did that trip down to Peru. That was in 2012. How did you first learn about that? And what was it like, both leaving to do and then going back to the desk job and stuff? Because that was
Oh
the first
wow.
time you did it, right?
Yeah. You guys. I think it's how I heard about it.
Oh, I
I used to
remember
go
that.
down to Barnes and Noble and on 86th Street, on the Upper East Side, and just always found myself in kind of like the new age spirituality section. I picked up a couple books. I think there was a Daniel Pinchbeck book I picked up. Pinchbeck, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. Just got kind of intrigued. And then, going out to the trail with you guys, just kind of getting in touch with nature.
We were gonna do it ourselves that one time. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Idiots. Thank God we didn't. Just no idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, just kind of, a calling for whatever reason you guys came into my life, and then
And I feel like back then when you guys did it, it was like no one,
Yeah.
I mean,
It
no one was
wasn't.
really talking about it. Like no one really knew what it was. Like, I don't know. It's almost like you guys were the first people that I really had even heard of anyone experiencing that.
yeah, now we're down here and it's
everywhere
everywhere.
here.
More people who haven't done it than who have. Or no, more people that have it, that actually have done it than haven't done it down here. It's crazy. But yeah, so yeah, just kind of one thing led to another with you guys, and you did your little study abroad down there and had your experience. So it seemed like you had a comfort level in that country, Peru. So we went, and yeah, and then
I was the translator.
Yeah.
For us, with the all six Spanish words that I know.
You can get by with a lot. Ask for food, where the bathroom is.
So what was it like then, just going back to a desk?
Did
it make it easier?
I don't remember, to be honest. I don't remember, but I would say with my more recent experience, it's more apparent what kind of the change was. It was just, well, I don't know if I mentioned, between the desk job, I was working remotely for a cannabis company in Ohio, which I ended up leaving that position as well. So kind of this time around, it was just kind of like going back to like my daily tasks of, with just kind of less worry about where things are going to be 10 years from now. It's kind of faith in the moment and where things are leading me. That didn't happen immediately.
This was while you're in Costa Rica?
Yeah, within the last few months. And then also just like kind of, I took away from this power of manifestation and prayer from that. So I just kind of like really started to believe in, if you focus your energy and your thoughts and your prayers into the things you want, they do unfold that way. So yeah, it's kind of.
I think it's so prevalent here because a lot of people that seem to come to Costa Rica are seekers. You know, they're trying to get rid of, you know, all that like material stuff from like where they were coming from and all that, you know, mental and emotional baggage, and like really just get down more to the basics and to like, you know, find themselves, you know, per se. So I think that's why like a lot of these type ceremonies, yeah, just, you know, a lot more common here. Yeah, we did it together in January.
So that was your first time?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what was it like for you?
You know, I liked it. I didn't have any of the purge that, you know, some people
You
get
throw
with.
up?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh shit.
I guess I didn't have anything to release.
Yeah, that's supposed to You've been
So,
released. You've been releasing. You've been, you know, helping Colin with his.
It was really good.
but yeah, it was a really nice experience. You know, there were about 6 of us in a room. We were with a guide who we've done other ceremonies with before, so we were, you know, I felt really comfortable with her. You know, yeah, you know, it lasted all night. It felt really peaceful to me. I was most comfortable kind of laying on my mat the whole time. You know, a couple times I would get up and walk around a little bit, but that just kind of felt like my safe space.
You were
And I
able to
had,
get up and walk around?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Colin, you were able to walk around too?
Oh yeah. I mean, not like, oh, you know,
Not like, yeah, like you're gonna go for a jog.
Walking like out to the
I moved a
pool or
lot.
yeah.
Like went to the bed, went to the pool, went to the bathroom. You know.
Oh. I guess it's a lot of it has to do with how it's prepared too. You know, they like that they could have put different things in it to didn't you experience it differently or
Yeah. It's all an individual experience too. I definitely saw some people that needed help, like getting to the bathroom, but we.
Yeah.
I didn't
that's
need
true.
either.
But yeah, I mean, really like fun, vivid, you know, images, and it was a pretty positive experience for me.
Tony, you would have been proud. You remember how nervous I was the last time?
Bro, we were all nervous. I just bullshitted. Huh?
Beating me this time. Just like, here, have some more
The
color.
guy kept giving him more.
Dude, I remember when we did it. The Carlos said Anthony will drink first because he's the most calm and tranquil. But then in my head, I was like, oh yeah, okay, sounds good. That was good. That was funny. And we couldn't. I remember like trying to sit up when we did it, and I was just like fell back down. So I was surprised when you just got up and we were moving
Yeah,
around.
it was a different it was a different atmosphere though too. Like this
Yeah, it's all.
lady was playing more upbeat music. Had some like guided meditations. She's from. We didn't do a practice, but that's her background. You know,
What is that?
it's a you know, I don't want to misspeak here because I know you have a lot of listeners, but it's a to me it's indigenous Brazilian use of Catholic mysticism and
Plant medicine.
so
Okay. I'm sure it's potent enough to.
It's like an actual church, right?
yeah, it's a church. It's a church. Yeah, so people like it's her religion. So
That's a big thing that's kind of, and it's weird. It's funny too, especially when we first started talking about this stuff like almost 10 years ago now, and seeing how it's becoming more accepted and like there's like churches forming, and I think it's all positive, and despite all this negative stuff that's going on everywhere now, like there is things like trying to identify who they really are, what they're really supposed to be doing. is also probably at record levels, you know?
Yeah, and I think, it's important to make sure you really trust your guide who's giving it to you. You hear a lot of, horror stories about just some random guy all of a sudden off the streets a shaman and, not
Yeah.
really knowing how to do the doses properly. So, yeah, we have a lady near our town who we really trust. And we've done some other ceremonies with her too. So I would definitely recommend her. But yeah, I think that's, just you got to be comfortable with, the person.
Trust
leading.
is trust in who you're doing it with, and trust in who's actually running the ceremony. I think is, in my amateur opinion, but from what I've heard from people that have done it for a long time too, is just as important as what you're actually taking, what you're drinking.
Yeah.
And they say that with I never done shrooms, but they say that with shrooms too. You got to be around the right people and stuff. And that's the only reason, because the first time I did it was like intense, and I was like, I was sitting in a dark room with a lit cigarette, staring at the cherry, just like wondering like, why am I doing this? But it got better towards the end.
It always gets better toward the end.
It was another plant medicine type.
Okay.
But then when we went down, I was like, I remember I wasn't gonna do it until we met Doris, and then I was with you guys, and it was just like, all right, let's go. Let's roll the dice. Yeah, how you doing? So,
But
then
see, you were with people you trusted,
exactly. And the first time I did it too, the shaman didn't speak any English, and I was there with some guy from like Holland or something. We were with another guy too. He was like from New Zealand, I think, or something.
Yeah, he left. I remember he left in the middle of the ceremony.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know. Maybe it's not weird. Maybe I don't know.
Right.
Who knows? You can't. I mean, that's something too. You gotta, especially in the show, like real intimate sides of yourself. You gotta be. It's gotta like Planet Fitness shouldn't be the judgment free zone.
It should be plant medicine circles.
Have you done it since?
No, I haven't done it since I did it with Colin and my brother.
Okay.
I draw back on that experience often, and I know I want to do it again, but I haven't done it since stuff. Part of it, I was in the military you can't like go on leave to Peru and drink the tea, and it's like that's not exactly in line with military traditions. But yeah, no, it's something I'd like to do now, and I'd like to go to Costa Rica too. It sounds like you guys have, and you said, Alexis, you mentioned something about other ceremonies you guys have done.
Colin, you were telling me about a different type of ceremony that you guys participated in.
He always finds this stuff, and then just like I'm always kind of like, okay, I'll do it. Like I'm just like down for it. I figure he's done like all the research. I don't even look up the stuff, so I just kind of go in blindly.
So, what was the experience like for this ceremony?
Your body starts to warm up. You start to get hot. Colin said he visibly, saw my pores open, and, I started sweating. And, she's there kind of like guiding you through, chanting a little bit. With that, I did throw up. But the whole thing actually only lasts for about 30 minutes. So it's like really manageable, like in 3 minutes, like you'll be done with it.
The waves coming, and then,
And then so we did 3 of those ceremonies within a moon cycle. And then our very last one, we followed with Bufo. And actually that one, I felt personally like I got the most from that experience. We were up on a mountain, overlooking the ocean at sunset. It was really beautiful. And we had 2 guides with us then. And that one, you like smoke it, and like really almost instantly, you feel this internal vibration. It's not a seizure, but it's like almost from like the top of your head to your toes, you're just like tingling and vibrating. And for that, like that experience left me with, I was a lot more conscious of what I consumed, like what I put back in afterward. And like since that day, like a year ago, I eat like a salad like every day for lunch. So it's just
no, it's not good.
Like it like clicked for
I'm
me.
just kidding.
So that one, it like I felt like I've gotten the most from that experience so far?
It's a physical purge. It's just it's heat. Your body, I don't know what your core temperature rises to, but you get hot and you get sweaty. It's really just forcing everything in your body out. Your gut, your
That's
whatever.
why that's where the throw up comes from.
Yeah.
But that one, I mean, it still only lasts about 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, it was short,
Mhm.
but she helps people purge parasites. They do like ongoing treatment,
Or even like drug, like addictions.
rehab, just
Yeah.
to clean your system and speed up the process. So yeah,
That makes sense. Because how would it so with anxiety or something like that? Would it, because you might start to feel like, oh shit, am I about to have like a panic attack or whatever?
Yeah, did you ever get that feeling?
on the first go around when it's interesting, man. Like
He's always really feel like nervous, anxious going into these events.
You're not Alexis?
No.
well, here's why she's not.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
That's why I bring her with me.
That's great. It's great to have somebody like that. It's like all right.
I think that it's because I know that he has done extensive research on what we're about to do, and that he wouldn't let me do anything unsafe. So I just kind of go with it, and I don't really like to read a whole lot on it because I don't want to
think too
have
much.
Yeah. So yeah, I just kind of blindly go into it because I know that he's done extensive research already.
But what I was going to say was, it's kind of so intense that what I'm finding, and I'm reading a lot about it, of anxiety too, is just kind of that you get really scared of stuff that's not real.
Oh yeah, I know. What is that?
Something real, I'm not so scared because I have no choice but to be in the moment and handle the damn thing, right? So that's how that I was, on that come up when I start getting hot and sweaty. I'm just like, oh shit, just fight to stay alive now, type of thoughts like that. And then, so yeah, I've always kind of been like that, anxious when I sit around and think, and I'm faced with stuff that's really not that dangerous, but my mind has perceived it to be a certain way. But when I'm actually in the midst of danger, I'm cool as a fan. In fact, I thrive there. Yeah, talk about the dog bite. But anyway, then the 3 ceremonies we did, we walked up to the lady's house up on the hill, and I was nervous for that one. I've always been someone, I put my body through some pain through football and training, and I can handle it. But so I get up there, and one of her dogs has someone's slipper in its mouth, so I went to go get it from him, and this dog just sunk its teeth right into my wrist. I just sat there. Can I breathe?
What kind of dog?
Guys, he's got me, and then he did let go, and it was
Do you know what kind of dog?
it was a pit boxer mix type of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not it's a real dog.
It's a real dog, yeah, and it probably went halfway through my wrist, and then so we go.
And
home
dogs, I mean, he's a dog lover.
I know. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
There's some tarot card readings before that led to these dogs attacking me. It's another story. And
Really?
But anyway, so it took my mind off of being nervous, and I'm just dripping blood, and we go in there. She pours cayenne pepper on it.
Cayenne pepper.
Tree sap on it. It's called Dragon's Blood, Sagrada, something or other, and seals it up, and then we wrap it up with a bandana, and I just go and.
He's like, shit. He's like, is this a sign that we shouldn't do this? So I was like, no, we're here. Let's just do it.
So I'm bleeding and then during the trip, I'm standing up and putting it in the sun and kneeling to it, to heal it.
Oh man, that's so funny. So what was it? So what was? when you were starting to feel things from the
Her description of that was pretty good. Just the vibrations. Just kind of
just vibrations while you're just dripping blood from the dog bite.
yeah.
That's beautiful. It's how'd you link up with the is she a shaman? The woman who runs the ceremonies?
I don't know if she would call herself that.
Sometimes
She's a guide. I'd say.
Practitioner. I think you found her. Right?
Yeah, I think I just found her online. She's just in the next town over. We've become good friends.
Did you get that last part about how?
No, I didn't get the last part.
Okay, so yeah, our guide. I think she calls herself a guide or a practitioner. Colin met her probably about a year or so ago.
Did I meet her first?
Or maybe she was recommended. Oh, she was recommended to us.
Oh, yeah.
And then we reached out to
A
her.
realtor recommended her.
A realtor.
town, yeah.
Realtor deals with people coming to Costa Rica.
What else you do while you're here?
That's our town.
So what?
We have a good relationship. She's been a good guide. I feel like she's really connected. So when I'm thinking about something, I have her pray for me. Vice versa. It's really cool to, thinking, back when we used to talk a lot, having this stuff nearby, you think we'd do it every weekend, but we don't. It's been a few times, and probably
they're intense. It's intense. It's
You gotta space it out.
yeah.
It's nice to have somebody like that nearby, and when you get that desire, you feel like you need that, because everybody feels like, like I felt like I feel like I could use it now, an extra tool to help center me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, when the borders open, come visit.
No, I will. Yeah, I told that to Colin yesterday. Yeah, I told my my girl too. She was like, "Oh, we have to," because we talked about Costa Rica before my brother even said that you moved there, and I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
So, how's how old's the kid now?
4.5. Well, he'll be 5 in October.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this has been a really great place to raise him for the past couple years. I mean, we can just take him to the beach and he just runs. I like looking back, like when we were in Columbus, they had like play cafes, which are basically rooms with some toys and the kids go play, like in a closed space, just being able for him to just be outside in the sun every day in nature has been pretty cool.
Yeah. As far as like to the education goes and stuff, schools.
Yeah, so he's in a really good international bilingual Montessori school. Preschool through 12th, they have like a international baccalaureate program for the high schoolers, meaning, once they graduate from there, they can go to school anywhere in the world. So that's been really important for us. It's like I want a good education, but in the jungle. So that's been, we've been touring all these different little towns. So that's been kind of on our list, like school tours and making sure that, we can find the right environment for them.
Okay, so it doesn't mean that, so it hasn't been like as big of a challenge as one would have imagined.
No. You mean with schooling?
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
No, I think, no. I mean, some schools are definitely better than others, and we wanted them to have a good, fun of reading and
anywhere
writing.
else.
Yeah, and I like his school has over families from over 25 different countries represented amongst the student population.
That's
so
awesome. That is
him seeing that diversity, just being amongst it, like, is important for us. I mean, Columbus was, mixed in like really just black and white. So, I mean, in this environment, he's just getting exposed to a lot of different types of kids.
And I think it's really important at a young age to, I'd like to say you got to teach them let them learn to think before you teach them what to think, something like that. So
how to think.
Yeah, kind of like, all these, the nature, vitamin D, the dexterity he's learning by being outside and and working with his hands, it's just, I feel it's doing more for his brain development, his education down the road than it is throwing him in front of the computer right now and teaching him how to bang out math and letters. But down here, there's a lot of different methodologies to education. I've seen some really, really unique ones. So I just like being outside of I like being in a place where I can evaluate those and we can choose one instead of just throwing them into the public education system of the states where the curriculum's essentially the same across the board, regardless of how unique your child is, you know?
Well, and I mean, the other issue, you know, with a lot of U.S. schools right now are the school shootings that keep happening, you know, and it's just something like, you know, I've got girlfriends that have kids back in the States and 4-year-olds are doing shooter drills. You know, they don't quite understand what it is. You know, like we did fire drills as kids. They're doing shooter drills. And it's like, you know, they make bulletproof backpacks now that kids can wear to school. And it's just, it's a whole different mindset that we just don't even want to be a part of.
Yeah, it's like it's instilling like almost like fear, like at the young age.
Like a little soul, you know.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. We come back to that word, the fear. You know, I still have my moments. I'm still working through some things, but the anxiety that was lifted just by no longer living in the States is incredible. Like, walk down the street with a beer in your hand, the guy across the street has a joint in his hand, and no one's life is going to get ruined over it. You know, you don't have to worry about those kind of things. Just the oversight, you know.
There's no military here, which is another interesting thing, you know, compared to the States.
Police are pretty much, you're not harming anybody, you know, we're not too worried about it.
Universal health care?
I don't know the details of.
But it's a really affordable health care.
You just haven't had any issues with like healthcare and stuff?
No, it's like pretty much anytime you go to, if you have to go to the doctor, it's just $60.
It's just $60.
Yep.
Here's the thing, it's like people have misconceptions of like developing countries that are like cesspools without clean water, and you know, and they have their issues like anywhere else, but it's to me, it's just part of the American conditioning, just to keep you in the American rat race, to think like that.
I always use that word, not those words, the rat race, fucking chasing your tail. The Matrix?
Yeah. Matrix. Another thing, have you ever heard of blue zones?
Have, but remind me.
So blue zones are, I believe it's 5 places in the world where people live the longest, the healthiest, and we are currently living in one. The Nicoya Peninsula within Costa Rica is a blue zone. So that's been pretty cool. I mean, you see, you know, a lot of, you know, older people still walking around everywhere, you know, seem healthy. That's been pretty cool.
Do they have chiropractors there?
What's that?
Do they have chiropractors there?
There's one in town, but I think he's only here for the high season. It's kind of lacking in our town, at least.
If one sets up in one of these towns, I'll make a killing.
Yeah. I mean, our towns are into like, I mean, our towns are very like holistic, into like lymphatic type, you know, massages, acupuncture, like cupping, you know, all of that kind of stuff.
I've done cupping.
I haven't done that one yet. Did you like it?
I don't know. I don't know. I was that's when I was having like my anxiety stuff, and I was just like, just like, what do I need to do besides take a magic pill? So that's So I'm sure it worked. I don't know. It's supposed to be. It's more for like performance with like muscle soreness and things, I think.
Yeah, I think so. That's the one like where they put like the cups on your back, you get like the circles.
Yeah, I've seen the marks on some people.
Like ear candling, lots of different massages.
It was ear candling. Colin, did you laugh at that one?
You like lay on your side and like they like light a candle and like put like this little like cone in your ear, and it removes any wax that's in your ear, like wax buildup. And it's supposed to be actually really good for surfers because I guess they get a lot of water in their ears and it makes their balance off. So it's supposed to help with balance.
Mm. Yeah, my ears do mess with me in the water.
So how's the surf life been? Because
It's challenging, man. It's not an easy sport. It's the hardest sport I've ever done. Crazy because like I had this athletic background, but then I see like these old guys or these fat guys, and they're just like much better athletes than me, just because
much better surfers, maybe.
on the water. Yeah, they've been
Athlete.
raised on the water. But it's fun, you know. I like getting out there, just getting out past the break.
Yeah, you said it's almost like spiritual for you,
yeah,
just sitting out there.
It's pretty
Because
peaceful.
that's a good point that you just made, Alexis. Because when you're, I guess, with something like that, you got to be in the moment. You got to be present. I feel like that's what we're all like to be searching for. It's just being how to be present the longest.
Mm-hmm.
And surfing, you have to be. So it could be like a spiritual cleansing thing. I don't know what kind of a hippy dippy term you want to use to describe it, but you know that is what it is.
Well, that's what drew me to it. You know, it's being thrusted into the moment. You know, when you drop down on a wave, like your mind has to shut down, and my mind doesn't shut down very often. Your mind has to shut down, and your instincts and your spiritual connection and your body awareness to just take over. You know, your mind is no longer part of the process, at least the conscious mind. So yeah, that's what I used to always. My metaphor was like a broken play in football. So like when I would get the ball and like the play kind of like went out of whack, and like you have no choice but to improvise. You know, someone missed a block or whatever. You just, all right, everything you were thinking went out the window, and you just have to react now. That's what catching a wave was.
Instincts take over.
New York.
Yeah, driving in New York City, she said.
Driving in New York, oh, it's the worst. That's as I had my last job. I had to drive around a lot too, and and then I'm coming to Dallas, and people are complaining about the traffic here. I'm like, you just have no idea. This is
Yeah, so we're we'll be running a business soon. We're looking for the right property. We're narrowing it down. One more town to visit, and then we'll.
So the wheels are in motion on this. This is it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all good. You know, business first and foremost, but Alexis will run her wellness program out of there too for on-site visits. Make it a part of the experience at the hotel.
Yeah, offer I call them like discovery sessions, but basically like, you know, a first session, I'm, you know, thinking about doing it, offering to each guest, you know, free of charge, just to see if they would be interested in, you know, further coaching.
Open their mind up to it a little bit.
Yeah. And I remember like whenever we would come visit, it was the kind of vacation where we always like left feeling healthier. And like it was kind of one of those things we'd be like, oh, like how are we gonna like, you know, keep making juices and smoothies, but like eventually like we just kind of fell off, you know. So maybe I think this could be like a good offering for someone who like wants to really bring that like wellness into their regular life once they go back home.
Yeah, make it like a lifestyle, not just like
not just
thing.
vacation.
Yeah, it's
place to host retreats. But yeah, so we're excited.
And then also it's our like I have a partner that it's the intention too is for our families, like if stuff totally goes haywire in the States and need an escape, you know, we have some land to work with. You know, we have an ocean with fish in it. We have a place that has abundant water, and we have
maybe grow our own food if needed.
Yeah, places for us to live. He's into plant medicine too. I mean, he's a businessman first and foremost, but he's into the CBD space, the cannabis space. So he thinks like Alexis thinks on that stuff, and he thinks like I think on the front of just kind of like disaster recovery, business continuity, I guess is the way we'd frame it for our lives. And So just kind of just being prepared, right, and taking care of our families and yeah, just
So
save. Yeah.
if people want to learn about either that or like what you guys do, Colin, I don't know, do you have like any type of website or type of?
I have a
Alexis does.
website for my practice. It's wellnessbyalexis.com.
Okay, it's easy to remember.
Yeah. And then, once we find a facility, we'll make a website and everything for that as well.
Great, keep us in the loop, and I plan on being one of the first visitors.
Definitely.
Well, it's an interesting time now. I mean, it's dead here, so it's because people can't get really into the country. I mean, it's not dead, but tourism's kind of dead.
Yeah.
So it's a good window for us to learn the operation of wherever we're going to operate and do whatever repairs we need to do before
High season.
before high season tourism picks up again.
Typically high season, starts November. So that'll be pretty interesting to see what this
The differences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think some people, they are booking for like Christmas time and stuff. So we'll see.
And there's going to be a wave of people that just want to escape too. First
Yeah.
chance they get. Anybody that works remote, I think, wants to do it from somewhere else right now with what's going on. Texas is a little.
Texas just doesn't care. Texas does whatever it wants.
We don't need to get into politics of anything, but yeah, you're not in New York City right now, where it's.
Yeah, New York, it's going down. It's going down in the whatever.
Yeah, all the schools that we've been visiting have said that they've gotten a lot more interest and increase in inquiries since since March. A lot of people trying to see if there'd be room for their kids, trying to hop on that first open flight here. So.
It's interesting. Changing times.
Yeah.
So we got out. Alexis thanks me a lot for getting out ahead of this.
Yeah.
You just got good timing.
Yeah.
It's awesome timing. Yeah. And then there's conversations with our son that I would have to have in the States that I maybe don't need to have down here yet. I want him to have a childhood before he looks at his neighbors skeptically about what color their skin is, and it's, we don't need to get into all that, but it is on our minds of how to
That's another, motivator to stay abroad.
yeah
because especially those that, and being in a school as diverse as he's in, that's just like the time where you learn, or somebody would learn like prejudices or whatever is during those early years. So if you're just used to seeing different people, it's like it's nothing to you. I had Daryl Davis on. He's a black musician. And he goes up to KKK members and gets them to change their minds and shit. It's very interesting. And he told me he never realized that he was different than anybody because he grew up abroad. And he was around so many different people all the time, like he just never thought anything of it. So when he first experienced that in the States, it was like, what is this?
yeah
So it sounds like your son's experiencing like a similar type of just diversity naturally, being around people.
yeah
So we're about an hour in. Is there anything else you guys want to like mention, or?
Nothing else I can really think of. We were on House Hunters International.
Were you?
Yeah.
Shit.
We filmed it last October. I think it aired in January, toward the end of January.
Where can we see that?
It was still on YouTube the last time I checked. If you just say House Hunters International Nosara, there should be a picture of us or like the video of us. If not, I can try to send it to you.
How do you spell Nosara?
Nosara.
Okay, so exactly how it sounds.
Yeah. We were season 154, episode 1.
Season 154?
I don't know. They must do like
it's been on forever.
Oh shit, that's awesome. I'm definitely gonna watch that.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, great. I think Colin, were you about to say something?
No.
Cool. I think this was fun. I'm glad we caught up. You guys look fantastic. Stay. Don't come back. That's not because I don't want you to come back. It's just because it's you're probably better off.
Start of it.